What's up everyone, it is Dark Viper and I'm going to show you how to make your own processor builds for food. If you just got a food processor and you're kind of staring at it saying this looks really cool but I don't know how to use it, this video is for you. I'm going to show you a couple builds. First build is going to be the pizza and the next build is going to be carrots. The carrot build is actually a lot easier once you see the ingredients. The carrot cake is a lot easier. You actually need one less food processor for the carrot cake. If you want to cook something that's easy, this is the one for you. Don't bite. No, stop. Don't bite that. And then this other one here is just going to require three food processors, unfortunately, because you do need to make the tomato paste or tomato sauce, and then you got to make the dough, and you got to cook it, and you got to combine it. You got to do all this kind of stuff. Okay. So I'm going to show you both the builds right now. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start with our grass block, and we're going to create a 9x9 little farm here. that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to go across. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we're gonna go down and fill this in. That should be 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then across. So we can go and fill this in. Okay, now we go across 2 gaps. So you're gonna create a two square gap, and we're gonna do another 9x9 here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we're gonna go down. Okay, so that's good. So these are our 2 spots. This is gonna be used for our tomato farm, and this is gonna be for our wheat farm. So we can go and get the plow out, and what we're going to do is we're just going to plow the areas we are going to plant on. Everything else is going to stay grass. And I'm going to tell you, when you're doing these farms, you're going to probably want to optimize at least the veggies. The wheat is okay. Like, you're going to produce plenty of wheat, but when you come down to carrots and tomatoes, not so much. Because you're going to need either a bigger farm for the tomatoes, or you should just optimize it with sprinklers and fertilizer. And that's the way I would recommend. If you at least have sprinklers, all the better. Like I said, you can do without even optimizing, and it's going to still produce stuff. It's just going to be really slow. The other thing you want to do is make sure you've turned off all of your other auto farms, because it will create despawn for this. So if your food processor, if you're following my build exactly how I'm doing it and stuff is despawning, you got to turn off all your other stuff, because it's despawning. It's causing these things to despawn because these are out so long. So when you're doing a food processor farm or build, you're going to notice things stay out a lot longer because they're having to go through food processors, washing machines. It's also having to go through like ovens. So you got to make sure you're careful about turning off all your other stuff. That way it's not going to force stuff to despawn in here. That's incredibly important. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do this. Since we're here, we're going to go ahead and get our conveyors out. And so you're going to point these inwards to the middle, which is where our washing machine and some other stuff's going to go. So we can go and draw that in, go all the way across. Okay, so that's good. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a right turn, and then this side's going to make a left turn. So we're going to need our angle conveyors. There they are. This one's going to be our left turn, and then this one's going to be our right turn. All right, that looks good. Now we're going to go ahead and fill these in, because this is where our washing machine is going to go, and this is where our first food processor is going to go. We're going to go ahead and do the washing machine now before we add any totems, just so it's a little easier. So let's go ahead and keep that out. Okay, so we're going to do our washing machine, and it's going to need some power. So what I would do is I would just advise to go up 3 blocks and then across, and then you can destroy these bottom 2. And that way, if you want to, you can always put more seeds down here, so you can still build across to build a plant. So we need a coal totem, and then we're going to put a conveyor here. So that way the coal is going to drop straight onto this guy right here. And we're going to do all of this stuff before we plant any seed, just so it's a little easier, so you can get it over with now. So one thing I want to tell you how to work this thing. So you're going to go into it, you're going to open the food processor, and you can see all the different things you can make. Well, depending on what you're going to make on this one. So this is going to be our wheat. So we're going to be making dough on this side, and on this side, we're going to be making tomato sauce. Once we get to the next food processor, which is going to go attached to this one, I'll show you that one. But for now, let's go ahead and focus on this one. You need to make sure you select whatever you're going to make. If I left the button on jam sandwich, it's not going to make dough. It just won't, because that's the mode it's on. So you're toggling different modes. So we want to make sure dough is selected so that it actually does make dough when we have wheat coming through here. Okay, now we want to go ahead and plant our seeds. So I'm going to go ahead and plant our wheat seed first. And it looks like our coal is wanting to jump out. So let's go ahead and put a little route for it. Okay, so we're going to go and raise that one. Then the other thing you can do is you can put, if you really had to, you can block this side and that side. You're just sacrificing a totem to do that, but you could do that. The only problem is it could bounce into this one too. So Hopefully your coal, like I said, I haven't had really that many issues with coal because the coal lasts pretty well and it does start getting backed up. You'll see that you'll start seeing like 2 in here. The other thing you could do is if you really wanted to, just for safety measures, you could just add another coal totem right there if you wanted to. But you see how there's 2 in here now. So we're good. I'm going to go ahead and take that one out. Okay, let's go ahead and take that out as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back to here. We're going to start tomato seeds. Where's my tomato seeds? There they are. So I'm going to start planting the tomato seeds and then we're going to go ahead and put the totems in next. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and add our totems. Let's keep our coal out, and that way we can, because we're gonna need the coal again in a second here. Get rid of wheat seeds, bring the tomatoes, and we need the wheat totem. There they are. Okay, so we got our totems. Let's go ahead and plant these. Okay, we're placing those, and those are all placed now. Let's go over here and place the wheat ones, and then place this side. Okay, they're all good to go. Now they're going to start harvesting in a little bit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and expand on these. We're going to need our food processor for the tomato sauce. So that's where that's going to go. So we're going to go and place that now. This does not require coal. Let's go ahead and open this and make sure we selected the tomato sauce and close that. So that's all good now. And now what we need to do is we can go just straight across here, and then we're going to make a left turn. So old school drop. This is going to turn left. So let's find our left turn conveyor is right there. And we go straight into this thing. So this is going to be our next food processor. And the reason why we need a third here is this is the one that makes the uncooked pizza. So once you have these two, they're going to drop here and they're going to combine in here. And then we got to cook it. So now we need an oven, which is up here. And then we're going to need to power that oven. So let's put those here. Put a coal. We need our coal. That's good to go now. And we got to block this because it will pop out. I don't know why, but it just doesn't like dropping there. So we're going to block that from popping out. And then same here is sometimes likes to pop out. So let's go ahead and block that. And then now that we have our oven, and this is going to start combining a little bit here. We don't have any tomatoes out yet. We're going to go ahead and put in a little storage here. Where's my industrial storage at? There's the industrial storage so that when it's done, it goes in there. So going back over here, you'll notice that these are growing really slowly. So what we want to do is you want to put some water catchers on the sides like this. And then what we want to do is we're going to add some sprinklers. So let's go ahead and get rid of this stuff. And we're going to plant the sprinklers. All right, so those are running now, which is great. So that's going to speed up our tomato process here. You could expand on this, but it's going to slow everything down. It's going to just be bad for you. So you want to try to do fertilizer and sprinklers instead of expanding. I would recommend that instead. And then over here, you can see we haven't made anything because we're waiting on the tomatoes. And while we're waiting, we can actually start the framework over here and we're going to come back to this. So we're going to do another 9x9, 2 double-sided plot. And this is for our carrot farm. This will be a good recap for you. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to do the 3 areas, the 3 rows we're going to actually plant on top of. Okay, we're going to do that again over here. We're going to skip 2. So 1, 2, and then we're going to go across. And then this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then down. All right, now we need to switch to conveyors. Correct a few of these when I'm spamming. There we go. Okay, and before we do this, we're going to go ahead and reserve those sprinkler spots. Because we know we're going to do it here as well. We can put a water catcher close by on both of them. Now we're going to do the wheat farm over here. And this one does not require water catchers or sprinklers because it grows just fine. You don't really need to do any of that with wheat. All right, so that's ready. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build this one out because we're going to need another washer. And then we're going to build the processor here. So the food processor is going to go right here. And then we need another washer right there. We're going to take our corner turns. And then we need to power our washer here. Let's go ahead and block it so that it doesn't fall out again. And then we're going to put our coal up here. Where's the coal at? All right, that's powered. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that one. Actually, let's go ahead and take that back. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to skip doing all the totems and stuff because we're just going to go ahead and straight into this. What we're going to do is we're going to do an old-fashioned conveyor drop. And that's going to go into another food processor. And it's going to be the final food processor for this one because this one only requires 2 food processors. And let's go ahead and get rid of the water catcher and put in food processor. Okay, there's the food processor. And then we're going to connect the oven. And this food processor, we're going to be doing wheat. So we got the dough selected. And this one, we're going to be doing the carrot cake batter. So those are all set. And then we just need a left turn here. And then we need to power this guy. All right, so this is all set to go. And then we just need to end cap this with an industrial chest. And now we got to plant. Okay, let's go ahead and get the seeds together here so we start growing some stuff. All right, so we're going to go and plant these. Okay, that's good to go. Now we're going to switch to the totems. We need the carrot totem. We need the wheat totem. All right, wheat totem is going to go on that side. So we're going to go and do the carrot totems. There's that. And then we're going to switch to wheat. And I think this is looking pretty good. So we got our sprinklers going. We got the seeds growing. We got the conveyors good. We got a washer. So when the washer is done, it's going to go through there and merge. And then we've got, we're making dough. Yep, looking good. Okay. So while that's cooking, we're going to go back over here. So you can see how much pizza we've made already. Jeez. It's making a lot of pizza over here. Washers are working good. So if we had fertilizer, you could actually stack fertilizer on this and it'll go even faster. And what I would do is I would just put fertilizer across all of these and not even worry about extra water because it'd be fast enough. You don't need to overdo it. What else here? Yeah, this is looking good. Let's see how this is going. Gotta wait a little bit for this one. So while we're waiting, we're gonna go and decorate this just a little bit, just a little. So since we're bottlenecked by veggies the most, more than wheat, I'm gonna go ahead and just favor that over here as well. And then we're gonna go over here and do the same for tomatoes. Right. So there's some other stuff you can make from the food processor that you might be interested in making. Like you can make tomato soup, which also requires tomato sauce. So basically what you're doing is you're merging the onions with tomato sauce. So you'd have to have another farm, like maybe onions over here that combine with this, and then you can make your soup. It's gonna be similar logic than this. The only difference is you don't really need to bake it, which is kind of cool. The other piece here is you can make something like maybe apple pie. Now, something like toast, this gets a little weird because you have to make baked bread first, and then you have to run it through a processor, whereas most of these times you don't have to use an oven until after you've used the processors. So if you want to do dough, you've already seen dough. It's basically this already, right? So you're going to run the wheat through a food processor, and then it's going to drop down here. But the food processor is just going to make the uncooked dough, right? And to cook it, you can cook dough and it'll turn into baked bread. Otherwise, if you wanted to make berry dough, it's a similar process. The difference is you're going to combine the dough with berries, and that's pretty straightforward. So like if I sprinkled berries into this right here before it went in here, it would combine those to make berry dough, which I don't really want. I don't need to make. And then the next piece here is tomato sauce, which you've already seen. We've done that with our pizza. For tomato soup, you're going to do something. You're basically going to take this farm method, and instead of having this thing right here, you're going to put another washer, and then you'll merge these, basically the tomato sauce over here into this soup. So it saves you one step. It basically saves you one processor, but it does add another washer to that. So you'd have to put a washer here instead to make tomato soup. And then you would get rid of the oven because you don't need the oven. For this one, grape jam, you just need grapes. So that's going to be pretty easy. You could probably automate that similar to our auto tree farm. In fact, it'd probably be easier than the auto tree farm because you're not having to replace blocks and stuff. But basically what you do is you do something similar to this where you have all the grapes lined up and you just auto click them and then auto replant. And then at the end here, you would just drop them off into a chest to create these, and they would store in that next chest. And then you would just auto click them, and you could make tons of automatic jam. If you wanted to do that, you could completely automate the grape jam. It's easy. Jam sandwich is a little trickier because you do need the jam first, and then you need to be cooking bread, and then you need to combine them. So in this scenario, you need to be essentially, you gotta have a ton of grapes. So what I would probably do if I were gonna do something like that is I'd probably store up like 1 million grapes inside my inventory, and that way all I had to do is just keep spamming them. So I would create a industrial chest that has a direction of out, and then I would just drop them into here constantly and feed them into my system, and then I would auto click. You can completely automate that. Uncooked pizza we're already doing carrot cake. Potato salad is actually pretty easy. All you need to do is a couple cleaners. So you do something similar to this, but with 2 cleaners and 1 processor. That's it. That's actually a really, really easy build. So instead of doing all this, you would just need 2 veggie farms, just like this one with the sprinklers, and then you need 2 washers, and then you need to merge them sooner. Instead of merging them after here, you would merge them right away, and then they would go through a processor and then into an industrial chest because you don't need to cook it. The next one here is if you wanted to make an uncooked apple pie. You'd need dough and you'd need apples. That one's going to be a little trickier to make. I'll show you how to make it. So you were already making the dough here, so you already have that. And then instead of all this entire farm, what I'd probably do is I'd probably set up an industrial chest where I just feed it apples constantly. And then like maybe every couple seconds I feed more apples, like a whole stack of apples, and they come out. And then they get merged into an uncooked apple pie, and then that would go through and it would get cooked. And then your apple pie would go in here. And so if you want me to build an apple pie farm or any other builds that you're trying to make, let me know. If this video does well enough, I will make more of these for you. I hope the video was helpful for you to be able to figure out how to do your own builds. Please hit the like button and smash the subscribe button if you're new, and I'll see y'all next time. Take it easy.